Hi, my name's Ben, and I just wanted to take a chance to introduce myself. And rather than just going over the details on my resume that you can read, like my education and experience and all those things, I wanted to take an opportunity to tell you a little bit about where I've been, where I'm at now, and where I'd like to be. Well, growing up, I was a preacher's kid, and I was basically born in the pew. I was there all the time with my dad and always by his side, and I accepted Jesus into my life at a very young age of 10. But it wasn't until middle school and high school that I really started to take those things I knew about Christ and really apply them to my life and take my faith as my own. And eventually that led me to the decision of going to Ozark and pursuing vocational ministry. And at Ozark is where I met my wife, Sarah, and she's amazing. She works with international students on the campus of University of Colorado in Denver, where she works with an organization called International Student Incorporated. And she basically just gets to love on international students and invite them into our home and other Americans' homes and gets to share the gospel with them. And that's so amazing, and she's really great at it. And so for the past 2 years, we've been here in Denver, and we accepted kind of a residency type situation after we graduated at Ozark. And so we moved up here, and Sarah got to work kind of some outreach and also doing some transitional organization as we moved spaces during the time that we were here. And I primarily was over worship and tech, and I got to learn a lot through that, building more teams and kind of building a new website for the church with some people, and I got to learn more about social media and marketing, and learned a lot about sound. I got to design and purchase a whole new sound system, which is something I'd never done before. So it's been a really awesome experience just to learn more about the city and the church and how church plans function, and that brings me to where we want to go. When Sarah and I were dating before we got married, we really thought long and hard and prayed about how to marry international culture and her love for that, and my love and passion for worship ministry in the local church, and how those two things fit. And kind of what we came to was church planting and urban centers, because like in Tim Keller's book, Center Church, he says that there is more image of God per square foot in the city than anywhere else. And that's really been affirming as we've been here in Denver, our love for the city. And not just Denver, but for all cities, that there really is that truth, like Tim Keller said, and just this idea that is international and just cultural hub for people is in the city. And with that, there is more baggage, and more pain, and more loss. And so we want to be in the middle of that. And so something for us and what we're looking for as we move forward and trying to find our next ministry is a church that is urban, that loves the city around it and the different cultures and races that we have, and also a church that is looking for a worship pastor and not just a worship leader. And let me clarify that. I think that worship ministers usually have a pretty easy role. Most churches are focused on worship pastors being musicians and putting together set lists and making things look great. And while I think those things are very important and is a big part of the job, I also see and think that first and foremost, worship leaders should be worship pastors, men and women who are shepherding the church and shepherding the people around them. And so that is something that's a big passion of mine. That kind of spiritual formation, discipleship role of the worship pastor is really important to me. And so just to recap, we really, just because of our experience and our passions and where we're at, we would love to be in an urban church, a diverse church, and a church looking for a worship pastor, not just a worship leader. If you have any more questions about that, or just want to get to know me more through conversation, please feel free to reach out. My contact info is on my resume. Thanks.